Good evening, friends. Happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. My week gets away from me. So I just wanted to share some project updates. Last night I was working, or the last several nights that I've shared projects, going back to the end of last week, I was working on this pillow, and it says I am very busy. This is a canvas from Kansas City and Needlepoint, and I finally finished it. So I got all of the cording sewn on. It's a little janky down here, but it's okay. So what I ended up doing is just opening up the seam and pushing that down. I'm sure that there is a way to cut the two pieces of cording and wind them together, but I just did not trust my ability to do that at all. And so I just did that. I overlapped it a little bit and sewed it together. So it's not terrible. And the reality is that it's going to sit like this. So I don't think anybody else will notice. And again, nobody's paying nearly as close of attention to this as I am, since I've been intimate with every single stitch. So glad to have that done. I will take that to my office, although it feels a little sassy. Do you think it's a little sarcastic? I'm very busy. I am very busy at work, but I don't want to give a negative connotation to people who come into my office. Let me know if you think it's a little too sassy and I can leave it at home. Nevertheless, I got that finished. Now I'm working on my friend's version. So she needle pointed this. I am very busy. Same canvas, but I switched out the colors when I kitted this for her because I thought this would be more in alignment with her decor and her colors. So I realized once I started working on this to finish it, that she's a new needle pointer. She did not realize that she needed to do a couple of rows of white outside of this little, almost like a basket pattern. So I'm working on that. I'm almost out. I don't remember what I kitted this with, but I think it is pepper pot, and that's what I've been using to do those extra couple of rows. And I'm almost out. So I think what I'm focusing on is just getting this one single row outlined, and then I'll go back with DMC or something to get another turning row. It's not ideal, but I'd already cut my mat board before I realized that she had missed these couple of outside rows. So we're just going to make it work. And I am going to do basically like an ornament, a cookie, wrap this around a piece of mat board, wrap the back, and put a little hanger, because I thought that would be cute in her home office, that she could just hang that or use it as a door hanger or something like that. I don't know that I really wanted to commit to a pillow without consulting with her on whether she wanted a pillow. So that's what I thought would be the best. And what I'm going to do for the fabric is just use this natural colored linen that I think is very classic and just, you can't go wrong. So I did go to Michael's last night to get DMC to make a 3 colored cording. And I did okay. I didn't have it with me. I don't know what I've done with that. Oh, there it is. I just tried to remember as best I could the colors, which is never a good idea, but it worked out okay. So these are the 3 colors that I got, and I think it's a pretty good match. So that's what I'll do the cording and make that for her. So that'll probably take me a couple of nights, honestly, because I have that extra needlepoint to work on. And I think that's it. I'm, of course, bouncing around as I do. So I did work on my shawl a little bit today, but I don't have it up here. And I think that's it. Do you want to see another project? That's an old goodie. I saw this sitting around. So again, sort of like the strawberry that I did the other night. So this is a needlepoint bag that my husband actually needlepointed for me years and years and years ago. So this is a Kay Fawcett, or was a Kay Fawcett kit. And he did all of the needlepoint. Years ago, he had an affliction and we didn't know what it was. And it was actually turned out to be chilblains, like Jane Austen. What? People get chilblains. So he had a miserable winter. His feet were really hurting him. And so he needlepointed on this that winter as he was recovering from this unknown illness that we couldn't figure out what it was. But good news is it's chilblains. Bad news is he gets it every year. But I did get this great, awesome needlepoint tote bag out of the deal. So I did sew it together by hand. So because I was so intimidated to put this together. So what I did is he had needlepointed all of these. It came with different sections. So there was one long strap for this strap and another long piece for this strap and a bottom gusset and the front and the back. And so what I did is I just looked up the binding stitch, and you can find that online, or you can find it in Needlepoint, some of those vintage needlepoint books that I've talked about. And so I just did the binding stitch to put all of these pieces together, all by hand. And then I found a blue upholstery fabric that I lined it with, and oh, that's terrible. That's really dark, so you can't really see it. But I did add a pocket and just sewed that by machine and then stuffed it inside. And I can't honestly remember how I did the top. I think I just sewed it I folded down the top and pressed it, and then just sewed it by hand to attach it into the top. I think I just did like a whip stitch. But this is it's one of my favorite things, and it was truly a labor of love that he worked on. And so I do use it as a needlepoint bag, meaning a project bag, and I'll put my stuff in there. But it's kind of funny because when I put all of this together, I was so scared to cut the canvas that there's like really long seam allowances that I can feel inside. And so last year when I found this, I was digging through stuff and I found it, and I realized that I had taped the canvas. I didn't even put like real binding on it, and I was so afraid to cut it that I didn't even cut any of that off. And I could feel that old masking tape had, sort of gotten crunchy on the inside. So I ended up having to open up the lining last year, and I reached in there and pulled all of that out. But it's really got, sort of crazy wide seam allowances I can feel inside, but it works. Nobody else would know. But isn't that cute? So, a needlepoint bag. All right. Thanks for sticking around and coming along. And I hope you're having a good evening and getting to do something fun and creative. Thanks for coming. Have a good night.